this is Kathy Oliver from Stampin' from the Heart.15. I happen to live in Glendale, Arizona. If any of you are in the area and would ever like to get together for a stamping party, please let me know. Send me an email. And let's just go ahead and talk about the card and the materials we're going to be using today. So as you can see here, this is the stamp. This is the Thankful Forest Friends. It's just absolutely so cute. I just think it is so stinking cute. This is the card that we're going to be making, Thankful for You. And you can see that there's multicolor there on the stamping. So we're going to be working up with some of our Stampin' Wright markers. And then the inside, I put our little fox and some floral little notes in there as well. And then it still gives you plenty of room to do your sentiment. So the card is 6 by 9.5 scored in the middle, so it makes it 6 by 4 3/4. Then I did a white panel that's 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, and then the print is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then we use the these little framelit dies is what I use to cut out for the opening there, or to surround the little stamp there in the middle, which I'll show you here in just a second what that looks like. So the pieces that we're going to be using for this particular card today, I'm going to use green, and on this one I did orange. And then this is the little framelit that I used. So I went ahead and colored another one for us so that we'd have it ready to go, but I wanted for you to see it. But I'll show you how I colored in the stamp and then how I stamped it. I backed it, of course, with the rich Razzleberry coloring. And then we'll be using just one of the little paper doilies, a little piece of the Razzleberry ribbon, one of the little wooden pieces from these little accessories that you can buy from Stampin' Up. So that's pretty much all of the materials that we're going to be using in this card today. Now, if you've never used any of the markers, these are some of the colors that I'm going to be using today. And you can buy those in sets by color. There's a number of different collections of those in the Stampin' Up catalog. So go ahead and take a look at those if you're interested at all. Now, as far as a lot of the paperwork goes, I'm going to show you the paper pack. I've shown you this paper pack on some other videos, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to those of you again that might not have seen it, and then some of the solids as well. So this is one of the designer series for fall. So you've got your rich Razzleberry tones here, and then they flip to green and multicolor. This one happens to be orange, flips to wood grain. We've got a couple green ones again, nice green tones with alternating on the back. Some of these brighter, of course, autumn, fall tones, and then you've got yellow and wood grain on the back. Multicolor, again, yellow, wood grain. And then just some of the backs of some of the others that we've shown you. So essentially, this packet is Whisper White. It's got your greens, your oranges, and your Razzleberry, and some shades of brown. The cardstock single collections that I found that works really good with this is your Espresso works fabulous. This is, I believe this is the, I think it's the Calypso Coral. I'd have to double check. The rich Razzleberry and then soft Suede. Those are all fabulous individual colors that work really well with this collection. All right, so we're going to set those aside, get that out of the way. And we'll talk a little bit now about the stamp. So as I had shown you on this particular card, and then we'll get going on actually making it, you'll see how the wording on there is multicolor. So what you do, if you've never done it before, is you just take your markers and you figure out what colors you would like and where you would like them. So here's the orange color. It is called, what is it called? Tangerine Tango. So that would be the color of the cardstock as well. So on these, it's kind of a fat end on one end and a writing pen type or fine tip on the other end. So you just take the fatter and you take it to the side and you just color it in. You just lay it to the side and swish it back and forth. And then that'll color all the sections there of the wording that you would want. I take it down a little bit past the halfway mark because I'm going to do the bottom color and then I'm going to bring it up and we're going to kind of cross the two together there in the middle. Now on this one you could go ahead and do this yellow, which is Daffodil Delight, or if you've got another collection of, this is Hello Honey. So I think on this one I'm going to go ahead and do the Hello Honey. It's just a little bit of a warmer tone. So you can see I'm taking it across the bottom here. I'll take it up about midway, and then the two will blend in the middle, and you get just that beautiful blurred effect. I'm going to go ahead and take that back again, and I'm going to do the word FOR in the yellow color. And then I'm going to do the oranger one again on the little swishes by the 4. Oh, I just think this is such a pretty look. Then as you go, you know, if we dilly-dally too long and you feel like the air is getting to it, we'll just kind of huff on it when we get a little bit more done. All right, so we're going to do some of the green now. I'm going to start off with the old olive, and I will fill in these leaves with the old olive. And then I'm going to come back in a little bit, and I'm just going to flick a little bit of the darker color in them. Or you could even do a little bit of the orange one just to kind of give the sensation that the leaves are starting to turn. So let's do that on this one. There's 2 different style of leaves here. Let's do that on that one. And then let's do a little bit of a darker vein just to get some different effects in this other little leaf. You can see it's got a little vein in it. So we'll do that there. And then you'll see that there's some little berries. Whoops, there's some little berries there. So let's do our rich razzleberry, and let's do our berries. Oh, I think this is such a beautiful color. If you've never had the rich razzleberry paper, it is just really, really beautiful as well. You can do lots of things with mauves and pinks as a coordinate with this razzleberry. It's just really, really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and do the word you. Nice flat surface, so you just kind of drag that around almost in a smooth motion to get that wording done. Now these are not going to be quite as opaque, of course, as if you actually stamped this stamp right down on a block of ink, an ink pad. But that's what kind of makes it kind of even cool. It just gives it a little bit of a different look. Then the last thing we're going to do there is the acorn. Now I'm going to be sad to tell you I don't have a brown in Stampin' Up yet, so I'm going to use one of my Tim Holtz distress markers in a brown. This one happens to be Vintage Photo, and we're just going to give that a little bit of a color there. And then again, just to add a little bit of zip, I'm just going to go ahead and touch this razzleberry in there, just kind of tap it in the middle, just to give it a little bit of color. All right, so that's been sitting for just a little bit now. And so what you'll do, now I'm just showing you this on a piece of scrap paper. If you look at it and it doesn't look as glossy as it had been, just go ahead and breathe on it or huff on it and get it wet again, and then just stamp. Give it a second, of course, to transfer. Don't get too impatient. And then lift it up. And look how beautiful that is. The colors just kind of blend together. I got a little bit of variation here in this leaf, so it looks like the leaf is turning just a little bit. I think that is really, really beautiful. So that's what I did, and then I took my framelit and I put it on there and I just cut it out. So I've got that one ready to go for today. So these framelits are really nice to have in your arsenal of products, and then I used the one larger and cut it out in the Razzleberry, and then we'll be adhering these 2 together with a dimensional. So that's how you use the markers. I thought I would show you in case you had never done that. We're also going to be doing the fox when we get to the inside, and then a little bit of garland. All right. Put that in my box. So we will go ahead now and pull out the card base, and we're going to go ahead and attach the white background. Now I like to use, those of you that have watched me, you know that I like to use the Tombow glue. You can certainly do any kind of adhesive that you'd like. If you want to use the snail or something else that you may have, that's perfectly fine. This is cut just a 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around. So just make sure you get it nice and centered on your cardstock. Give it a nice press. This one's going to go straight down on there. We're not cutting it different at all, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that while we're working. You'll see the other side of this particular paper is the wood grain, which you can do lots of lovely things with the wood grain as well. Very nice paper. This is just a really nice paper pack. Lots of great things that you can do with it. All right, just give that a nice press. Then I also just went ahead and placed this in the center, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that as well. I'll put my glue kind of just here in the middle so that my other piece will go right over it. No one will see the glue. I'm just using this and this as my focal point to make sure that it's in the middle. All right, so that piece of it is done. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and layer together our, you can see there's just a little bit of washi tape on here. I like to hold my framelits down on my paper with washi tape just to make sure that they don't move and I get them right where I want them. So sometimes I have a little bit of washi tape left here and there. All right, so we're going to use our dimensionals and we're just going to stick that right down there in the center. You don't have to use a lot. I'm just going to use a couple here. Just enough to hold it in place. These are so sticky. We don't ever have to worry about them coming off. My goodness, they stick so well. All right, now we're going to try to get that down on there pretty even. Looks like I got a little washi tape there on that finger, doesn't it? All right, give that a little press and that's all done. Now I had a little piece of ribbon ready to go. Here we go. I cut this about 5 inches long and just cut it at an angle. So I'm just going to fold it in half. And we will use some glue dots. Now I like to kind of fan it out a little bit so it's not too flat. And we'll just put a little glue dot on the back there and hook our ribbon on. All right, so any kind of a piercing tool that you have will work just fine, or you can just stick that right there on the glue dot and bring it off and adhere it to the back. All right. And then we're going to just put that right back down on here. Put that right on there. So we'll use some of our dimensionals again. Now this time I will take them out to probably pretty much the 4 corners, maybe not quite on the bottom. Let's see what we want to do here. May not really need them on the bottom. I think 3 will be plenty. Now if you ever have a hard time getting those off, just pierce them with your finger and that just kind of sets it up to pop right off, and then you shouldn't have any trouble getting those off. All right, now I'm just going to kind of eyeball it there just to kind of get it in the center and give that a press. Then the little wood chip there, there's 3 different designs that you can choose. I just happen to choose this one. It has the leaf and the acorn. It just goes along with the theme that's there in the stamp. So one little dimensional. And we will place that right on there. So the front of the card, just like that, 1, 2, 3 is already done. Isn't that cute? So now we've got our tangerine color and we have our green color. So when we open it up, you'll see that I went ahead and did the fox and a little bit of additional stamping and a little bit of color. So on this one, we're going to go ahead and put our white paper down on the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. This one happens to be cut the full size. It's not just a scrap. Just kind of depends on what I've got and what I've been using. And what I mean by that is because it's got that little extra down the side, I could have used a little bit smaller piece of paper because this is coming over, but this one was cut and ready to go, and so I'm going to go ahead and use it. Then we're going to attach this orange color, give it a little bit of contrast. Now this is going to line up exactly to the edges here of the white. And then give that a press. Just make sure you don't have any of the white showing through there. Give that a press. Now on this one, you could do lots of different things. I just picked up this particular punch that I have because I want to get this little edge on the end of it. So I'm just putting it in there, making sure I have it kind of in the middle. I'm eyeballing it and giving it a punch. So you can see there's just a little bit of a design there on the edge versus just flagging everything with the points that we do so often. I thought I would just try something a little bit different. So again, just stick it in there, kind of eyeball it, make sure it's in the middle. Give it a little punch. So you can do that with pretty much any of the punches that you have, just to give it a little bit of character. Yeah, step out of the box a little bit. All right, so we're going to put this right here in the middle and give that a little press. There we go. Okay, Mr. Fox, it's your turn. He's so cute. I'm going to go ahead and make him orange. So I will be using the Tangerine Tango again, and we're just going to color him in. You can see on this first one here, I just colored him in. And I actually gave him just a little bit of a little bit of a different color on his ears and his little paws. You know, fox in the out in the wild, I actually think they are accented with a little bit of white. If they have a little bit of accent on them, but you know, white won't really show up here in what we're doing. I don't even have a white marker, in fact. So we're just going to do this. Just make sure you get it coated well. All the little points, all the little pieces of his body. You could even go ahead and put a little different color on his nose if you wanted to. You could even do his little whiskers black, or it just kind of depends on what you've got in the way of material at home. And use what you have, and if you don't have something, go ahead and put an order in and buy some of the things that Stampin' Up! Has to offer. So you can see I did a little bit of yellow there, and I'm going to just kind of tip his ears just a little bit in yellow, just to give it a little bit of character, a little bit of fun. Who wants to be all flat in one color? If I wanted to do that, I'd stamp it on an ink pad. Okay, we're just going to put him down. And then I'm going to do a little rhinestone on his nose. Oh, isn't he cute? So cute. I think stamping is just so fun. It just brings such joy to our lives to be able to create fun, cute things. So here's our little rhinestones, and I'm just going to take one of those and put on his nose. Now you could do a color, you could do whatever you'd like. You could make his little whiskers black or gray, whatever you would like to do. It's your project. That just happens to be what I'm doing today. All right, the last thing that I'm going to do now is we're going to work on this little bit of garland here. So you can see that it's essentially green with some leaves and some acorns. So I think this time, I'm going to set that out of the way, I'm going to make this one a little bit more orangey than I did my first one when it comes to the leaves. Since, you know, it's fall, it's actually coming. It's Arizona out here where I live. It's still in the 90s, but you can start to feel that there is that suggestion of fall in the air. It's not in the 100 degrees anymore, and there's just a little bit of crisp coolness starting to come, which is such a refreshing and delightful change from the awful long hot summers we have here. But you know what? Every part of the country has its own beauty and glory that God gave us, and you know, we need to bloom where we're planted and love where we are. So I happen to be in Arizona, where it tends to be pretty hot most of the year, but it's nice to take a little vacation once in a while and go somewhere else and try something else. I was in Savannah, Georgia this summer, just a few weeks ago, in fact, and had the absolute time of my life. So beautiful back there. If anybody listening is from Georgia or North or South Carolina, you have just absolutely gorgeous states back there. I loved every moment that I was in Charleston and Savannah. Just absolutely delightful, and thoroughly enjoyed myself. So thank you for allowing me to come to your beautiful state. All right, we're going to go back now. After I did the leaves green, I'm going to tap in some orange for fall. I bet there's some of you out there when you're looking at your windows, your leaves are starting to turn. I know it's happening. I grew up in Indiana years ago, so I had that experience, at least when I was a child, of seeing the beautiful foliage in the fall, which I miss so much. All right, so we've got green, we've got brown acorns, we've got our little leaves. Now, as I had said, this has been sitting here a little bit now, so I'm probably going to want to huff on it and make sure that we're nice and moist and that the color all pops. I did do the Razzleberry on the berries again. I did our orange and our yellow and our couple of different colors of green. I felt kind of silly doing that, but that's what you do. All right, and we'll just give that a press. Give that ink a chance to transfer, and up, and there we go. So there we go. That card is already done. It is just so stinking cute. You've got lots of room there where you can write your sentiment. So again, we've got a green collection with the multicolor, and then we have our orange collection, and they're both just super for fall. So I hope that you enjoyed that card today. I'll have all the products listed below in the description box. I also wanted to show you another card that I made. This was the first one that I did, and we've got, I think it's wasabi ribbon, and this is a layering die set that we used to have in Stampin' Up, but there's some other great ones on the website now. This one is the, what is it? It's vellum paper, and it's the wood embossing folder. And then here I cut out the little bear and the fox, just fussy cut them out, and did the bunny rabbit here with some greenery, and then just did, you know, just a little bit of extra garnishment on there. So I thought that was kind of cute, and I would show you that one. And then this one here is entirely different. This one I did the give thanks, and I did it on a scalloped punch in a circle, did a little sideways bow, did some of the butterflies with some glitter from one of the other kits that we have. And then on the inside, just did a compilations of some other things that you've probably seen on Stampin' Up website and different videos, but I thought I'd just show you that there's other things that you can do with this set. It's very versatile. You have lots of opportunity, lots of ideas to do lots of things. Fussy cut them out, stamp them, color them up, color them straight, whatever you would like. But you know what? It is that time of year to give thanks for the great and glorious country that we live in. And how nice would it be to send thank you and give thanks cards to your friends and family during this great season. Thank you so much for watching. And again, this is Kathy from Stampin' from the Heart.15. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products, please go to the link below and you can take care of that there. Thanks and have a blessed day.